Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it.
Storm. Storm.
Why is this name so hard? How the fuck did you come up with this name, Yeet?
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of just like some high shit.
Storm.
What's going on, Rod?
What's up, bro?
Hey, you know what it is, man. Another week, another Saturday, man. I am your host, B.Herbo. I got my brother from another mother, Rod, man, in the building with me. This is another episode of the Phin Outta Water Football Podcast, the everyday man football show for the everyday people, man. So, Rod, how you feeling, man?
I mean, I'm feeling great, man. I finally got a weekend off. Well, I'm helping somebody out tomorrow, but you know what I'm saying? Can't say no to the money. But I'm feeling great, man. And the Dolphins, man, and I know we're gonna get into it, but we're having we've been off-season champions before, but man, this off-season has been very good, in my
This
opinion.
is a second straight year you guys be the offseason champions, man, and that's something I'm not used to. I'm used to the Dolphins being the most bland, boring team. The Dolphins being you guys have went from and you have to really live in South Florida to get this because this is a very South Florida reference. You guys went from old school Fort Lauderdale, which is that white pedestrian like ABC, not even ABC, CBS type of white like lifestyle, bro. Like you guys really were the embodiment of everything that Wayne Huizenga represented, dog. And now and now you guys are more modern. You guys are going for it. Say what you want about Stephen Ross, bro. You can't say that this man's not trying to actually do what needs to be done, man. So shout out to y'all, bro. Like y'all deserve being. And again, this is the off season. It happens, but you want to root for a team that's actually trying to go for it.
No, of course, man. And to your point about Stephen Ross, I think the best thing that he's done this offseason and really these past few years is that he's put the right people in place. Not only do you have the right people in the front office, people can complain, people can say whatever they want about Chris Greer. I have my gripes with Chris Greer because this nigga can never figure out the O-line, but he could do everything else, Herbie. He's been the one orchestrating, restructuring contracts to give us some more cap space to sign a lot of these new free agents we have. And you got to give a shout out to the people at the top because they're the ones that get this engine running. And man, I like so far, like Herbie, there hasn't been one move that we've made where I've been like, oh man, what the fuck? Because I'm used to that. Every offseason is just like, oh fuck, why do we? Well, I haven't felt like that so far, and that's a great thing.
No, it's definitely a great thing. It's something that I wish I could say. You know, being a Cowboys fan, bro, I'm very jealous. I'll just say that, man. So for just to give everybody an intro, man, for today's episode, we're gonna go ahead and obviously talk about the trades in regards to the Dolphins. We're gonna talk about the big fish, Jalen Ramsey coming to South Florida, taking his talents to South Beach, but really not South Beach, bro. Fucking Miami Gardens. But hey, whatever, right?
Right. That's the phrase, right?
We're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers and his conversation on the Pat McAfee show. Just to touch upon it because everybody's trying to wonder, like, he put it out there, and now we're trying to figure out, like, why hasn't it happened? Like, everybody fucking knows, like, Jets, Packers. So what's taking so long? Me as a Cowboys fan, I would be remorse if I didn't talk about us releasing Zeke and a couple of the things that we've done. And we're gonna go ahead and get with the rest of the Dolphins signing, bro. Because at the end of the day, this is a Dolphins centric show, man. So right up the top rope, bro. Let's get right into it, man. Let's hey man, we ain't got time to waste, man. Jalen Ramsey is a Dolphin. Jalen Ramsey is gonna be paired with Xavier Howard. Again, I'm not used to the Dolphins landing big fish. You landed a big fish last year with Tyreek Hill. You landed a very big fish in Jalen Ramsey. And I know me and you, we've been going back and forth. We've been discussing it in regards to the plight of Jalen Ramsey right now in 2023. Obviously, at one point in time, he was the unquestioned best cornerback in football. Mm-hmm. And depending on who you ask, that may or may not be the case anymore, right? Times have changed. He's older. The landscape is different. Football is different. It's a very hard position to be dominant at. You feel me? Unless you're like one of the all-time greats. But we have film that we're going to go ahead and look over in regards to him and just see, okay, where is he and how he's going to fit in the system. So going forward. But first things first, man, I just want to get your opinion on how does it feel and take me to where you were when you got the news that you guys secured Jalen Ramsey, Rod.
Well, I mean, I was at work when we got the news, or at least when I saw it, and I just remember being like, "What? We got Jalen Ramsey?" Like, bro, at the end of the day, people can say whatever they want about Jalen Ramsey, and yeah, he gave up, I believe, 7 touchdowns last year. But at the end of the day, when you look at his career in totality, when you look at what he brings to the table, the Dolphins are getting a guy who he's an incredibly smart football player, a guy with a high IQ. He's a guy with great situational awareness. He's also a guy that he has all the physical tools you need in the corner. He's great in run support. And maybe the most delicious thing about all of it is the fact that the scheme that he played in with the Rams is very similar to what we're going to run under Vic Fangio. And Vic Fangio is a guy who loves to kind of move players around and put them in different positions. And what makes Jalen Ramsey coming to the Dolphins really such a great move to me is the fact that we actually have some good corners in place. Xavier Howard, he was dealing with groin and quad injuries last year. You hope he's going to go into this season more healthy and play at a higher level. And then Kader Cole, who came on strong in the absence of Byron Jones. So when you look at it, the best way to use a guy like Jalen Ramsey is to be able to kind of move him around. You could put him on either side of the field. You could put him in the slot. You could put him at safety. And Vic Fangio is the type of guy who's going to be able to bring out the best in Jalen Ramsey because he'll be able to put him in different positions. And because we have other pieces that can kind of pick up the slack in other spots, I mean, it's like to me, getting him in our situation is like a match made in heaven. So when I saw that we got him, it's dude. Like put it like this, Herbie. In back-to-back off seasons, we already had a good receiver. We got another one last year in Tyreek. We already have a really good corner. We're getting another one in Jalen Ramsey. And you add to that some of the other guys we added. And Jalen Ramsey, while it's the big fish, it's not even my favorite move we made. I'll get into that though.
Spoiler alert. Hold on, save those, Rod. Save those because somebody who's from the outside looking in and be like, Jalen Ramsey is not your favorite move? Like, what are you talking about? How does that even make sense? No, bro. Like, that's what I was saying on the intro. The Dolphins are actually making moves, and I'm jealous, bro. Me and my Cowboys, we over here re-signing fucking Keithan Landervosh, bro. Like, what the fuck does that do for us, bro? But you guys are actually making moves to improve the team. Now, is that going to actually do anything? Hey, you know how it is, bro. Yep. We seen the Vince Young Eagles, bro, where they had all the talent in the world and they flamed out, right? It ultimately is going to have to happen on the field, but the aggressiveness needs to be appreciated, even if you are a skeptical and even if you are a very jaded Dolphins fan. And there are a lot of y'all out there that are very skeptical, very jaded, very hurt, because you can only get abused and hurt for so long till you just don't trust anything. But hey, we'll have to see it, man. The seeds are there. The seeds are like absolutely there for a really good Dolphin season. We felt that last year, but health got in the way. So all we can do is have help, barring that you guys actually come together. Because I want to see it, man. Like I said, I saw the crowds. I live in Broward, bro. The Dolphins playing, I can hear the fucking Miami Stadium way in fucking Fort Lauderdale, bro. Like, that shit was rocking, and I want to go to a game. So even though I'm not a fan of the Dolphins, by me just living here and seeing how it is when you guys are good, I actually enjoyed it. I forgot what it looks like. I never got to experience that consistently, bro, and I want more of that, dog.
No, absolutely. And to your point, Herbie, I think the one thing I want to address for me is that I've been a Dolphin fan, let's say since like 98, 99. Like, Dan Marino was still playing when I started becoming a fan. But in my lifetime, Herbie, as a Dolphin fan, I'm thinking about some of the early years we had with Wanstead. I'm thinking about a couple years we had with Saban. I think about all these other years we've had in recent memory. And I just can't remember a time where the Dolphins realistically have a chance to actually compete for the AFC crown. Like, the opportunity is there because, in my opinion, when you look at the roster from top to bottom at this point, and we still got the draft, we still got to see what other moves are made. There's the offensive line, we're going to see what they're going to do with that. They've been kind of ho-hum about it. They want to bring back Eichenberg and they want to bring back Austin Jackson. But they got to find other guys because those guys were hurt last year. So you got to find quality depth at minimum, even if you want to at least try to get the best out of them, get the most out of them. So when you look at what the Dolphins are doing, the aggressiveness, just to, like this, like they're going for broke. they're saying fuck it. Like, they signed Tua to his 5th-year option. They gave Jalen Ramsey 2 years. Basically, we have a 2-year window while he's still on his rookie contract, which is the time to compete. So when you look at all of that in totality, you look at Mike McDaniel, what he brought to the table. You look at Vic Fangio, who his last 5 defenses were top 10 defenses. Dude, I mean, like we have all the pieces. Whether it translates or not, we'll see. But ultimately, man, if Tua can stay healthy, the Dolphins will have as good a chance as any team in the AFC of making it out and going to a Super Bowl.
All right, so while we're doing that, and I'm probably going to mix it up as far as the order how we talk about things. So before we get to that, though, because I want to keep it Dolphin-centric, man. So how about this? How about we go ahead and look at some film in regards to Jalen Ramsey and see what he actually brings to the table right now, man. So let's go ahead and do that on our end. Let me go ahead and pull it up on my end right here. And want to make sure it's added. And bada bing, bada boom. We got Jalen Ramsey, baby.
Jalen Ramsey. You got the screen share on?
I do, man. You just go, hey, bro. You rich, my boy.
No. We good. We good.
Yeah. Okay, we good. We Gucci.
Yeah. We in business.
All right, man. We in business. We in business.
We in business, man.
We in business. All right, cool beans, man. So, hold on. Let me go ahead and hit play on this bad boy, man.
We're
so
back, people.
This right here, bro, this is Jalen Ramsey going against his favorite player in the world, bro, DK Metcalf, man. And this was definitely a battle, dog. But look at this right here, bro. Look how he sat on the route. Like, look how he read that. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear the commentary or anything like that.
His combination of
I hear it. I hear
about his athleticism,
okay, all right, cool,
his football intelligence is off the chart.
You hear how they're talking about it, and you hear how,
and you combine that all with his elite versatility to play.
But I'll let him do the talking.
Outside,
bro.
I truly believe he didn't want to do. He could be an all-pro safety. And we'll pick our parts where we want to go ahead and talk. So I'll let him. And then you get him do the talking. Doing pretty much any coverage that he wants. He can play press man, soft press, and off man coverage. He can play any type of zone. He has plenty of familiarity. Playing in that still obviously type of system, they run a very, very similar concepts.
You're not getting no wash
defensively. The Rams did at least. So Ramsey comes in, will know what to do right away. He makes life easier for Xavier Howard.
Anymore. They just don't know it. The team knows it, but the player doesn't know.
Such an amazing player.
The Rams are in a fire sale, bro.
And comment on the video. It really helps it out. With free agency rolling around, I'm going to be posting a lot more Dolphin stuff. I know it's been a while, so let's get right.
Just take me through it with what you're saying.
We got Ramsey on the outside playing, these match principles. They're running cover 3 match. He pretty much is just man-to-man on Metcalf is what this means, especially considering Metcalf's route tree. And he's just holding his outside leverage, reading the hips, and undercuts this. He's a huge playmaker.
He ran around.
He ran around for him. He ran around for him. A lot of interceptions with Howard, Ramsey, Holland. They're all big-time ball skill type of players. But look at him just reading Metcalf's hips the whole time. Metcalf's route tree pretty much in Seattle is just either working vertically or a lot of in breakers. And Ramsey holds his outside leverage here just based on where he has help. He's just reading the hips of Metcalf the entire time. Look at him sink and match this perfectly. He just runs the route for Metcalf here. You can see him break this, undercut it. He's just an opportunistic playmaker. If he has a chance, he's going to go for the interception here. He's basically the one running the dig route here.
He's a great tackler,
gets the interception, shows off his ability after the catch.
Man, he brings a lot, dog. So
let's just see some other plays Holland right back there. Wouldn't be surprised if they sign Jordan Poyer. The secondary is going to be far and away one of the best in the
NFL. Good riddance, dog.
One of the best to ever do it, man.
Good riddance, 3-match type of thing.
I can't hear anything.
Actually gets caught slightly out of position. They do this a lot, though. They ask Ramsey to play out of phase. I'm not trying to step on the audio. Probably gets too far out of phase. He even talks about it a lot in his interviews. He's like, I'm not supposed to be in phase with these receivers, which basically, if you don't know, in phase just means he'd be like in the hip pocket of the receivers. Out of phase is exactly where he is right now, a few steps behind. Usually most corners are asked to play in phase, but in LA, Ramsey was asked to play out of phase a lot. That's why sometimes you would be like, why is that guy so many steps behind Ramsey? He's actually asked to play in that type of situation. But you can just see he knows he has help over the top because he's playing in the nickel too. So he's just playing, and he recovers here. He's just rating the quarterback too. He's got this tight end about 3 yards behind him, and his eyes are still back to the quarterback. They never go off the ball either, which is surprising,
bro. It's like,
he recovers while not looking around, running straight. That's impressive play speed, and then tracks the ball the whole way, goes up, and catches it at its highest point. Ball was obviously underthrown, but I mean,
Yeah, because we're watching the broadcast version, and we have this right here. So I'll pause it for a minute and come back to our end real quick, dog. But hold on. Oops. So let me go ahead and get here. But yeah, bro. So when you see that, how, like, what do you feel about it? Like, what do you think about this trade, bro? Watching the film and stuff like that, Rob.
Oh, Herbie. I mean, I honestly, I feel like it's a steal because what we gave up was a 3rd-round pick and Hunter Long, which was a tight end we didn't use. So ultimately, no matter really what we get out of him, it's not, even if he comes and he completely flops, it's not like we gave up much to get him in the first place. So when I look at the trade itself and I look at the way he's gonna fit into our defense, when I visualize how Fangio was gonna move him around the field, you know, have him in the nickel sometimes, have him play at safety sometimes, roam the middle of the field. He's gonna be able to use all of his talents, all of his abilities. Like you said, he's a tackling corner, which is, listen, some of the greatest corners of all time were not tacklers. Deion Sanders, we're looking at you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
You know, when you look at a guy who not only can give you the coverage aspect, he's smart. He can recognize plays like on a whim. At the end of the day, man, he is the full complete package at corner. And because we have Xavier Howard across from him, because we have guys like Nick Needham and Kader Kohu as good depth, who could also play in other parts of the field. Nick Needham is more of a nickel guy, but you could put Kader Kohu in and out. So, man, dude, when I look at the trade now and I look at everything that Ramsey brings to the table, I'm excited. Like, you know, I try, like, in these recent years, I try not to be excited because the Dolphins for 20 plus years have given me nothing to be excited about. But I can't. I'm a football junkie too. And when I see a player like Ramsey and I watch the tape on him and I see because he's not a player that you get to watch all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? In order for a guy like me to appreciate a player like Ramsey, I have to go and look at film to really see what he does. And when you put that shit on and you see just how quick he is, how strong he is, when you see what he can do in run support, like he's a really good tackler. So, man, Herbie, I'm ecstatic.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move from there. Then let's just go on with the actual the team itself, bro. So let's take it to everything that you guys done, because if it was just Jalen Ramsey, that would have been a great move in itself. But you guys got more than Jalen Ramsey, bro. You got a guard, you got a good backup in Mike White. I mean, Jet fans withstand it, bro. They might feel a different type of way because they have a different attachment to Mike White. Because dude, he's a backup for a reason. But as a backup, he's a really good backup. He's shown that. So I have. Hold on, let me get it up right now, man. And So this is actually what you guys, and this is CBS Sports, by the way. So they basically ranked all 32 teams and said, hey, these are what we think these guys did as far as these teams, bro. And I'm looking at, and I haven't gone through everybody because I've only been focused on your team and my team, obviously. But I had, from the start all the way to Miami, you guys are the only A I've seen so far, bro. You guys have an A. And look at the guys that you've added, bro. You have Mike White. You have David Long. You have Jalen Ramsey. You have Braxton Berrios. You re-signed Rasheem Morritt. And then you got, this doesn't even have the guard. What is it, David Freeman or David Ferry?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we have somebody else that you guys have, David Long as well, bro. So it's just like you guys did a lot. You guys did actually I did say David Long. I'm sorry, but you guys
we signed a safety, Deshaun Elliott, too.
Yeah, you guys did a lot, bro. You guys did a lot, bro. So what is the signing that you're most excited apart? Because you said it. You're like, that's not even the Jalen Ramsey, and you said it as a spoiler alert. You said Jalen Ramsey wasn't the one you're most excited about. So what is, Rod?
To be honest with you, and I wasn't sure about it at first because, I always have to turn on the tape because, for certain, a lot of teams we don't really watch. But when I put on the tape of this guy and I started watching him, David Long, Herbie, I said it on last week's show that either in the draft or in the offseason or in the free agency, we were going to have to go and get a linebacker that has good instincts, that's great in run, that can move sideline to sideline, that can actually be good in coverage. And Landon Roberts, I forget who he signed with. He might have signed with the Giants. I don't remember at this moment. But, we lost him. So we needed somebody else to pair with Jerome Baker. And we got that guy, Herbie. I started watching film on him. And I love like he has great instincts. He's a smart football player. The one thing I noticed that the Dolphins have been doing is that they sign a lot of smart players. They sign guys that have good situational awareness. They sign guys that understand when you give them an assignment, they stick to it. They don't try to deviate. They don't do too much. And when I was watching David Long, man, that was when I seen that we picked him up, and for the price tag that we picked him up for, I was just like, dude, like niggas just want to come play here, which is another good sign if you're a fan of the Dolphins, because Jalen Ramsey wanted to come here. Like Jalen Ramsey said he hoped he goes to Miami. Like Miami is becoming a place where other players want to play because they can see what's on the horizon. Vic Fangio, we were the first. Like he was. Listen, this man could have gone to any team he wanted to. The niggas would have fired their defensive coordinators for Vic Fangio, and he came to Miami. And then now we get a guy like David Long, a real inside linebacker that we can pair with Jerome Baker. Now Jerome Baker doesn't have the responsibility of being the top linebacker, because that's not what he is. He's a good, solid linebacker, but that's not what he is. Now we have a guy, even though David Long might not be a top 5 linebacker, but what is he, top 10, top 15? Like he's one of the better linebackers in football. He had a 76 grade on Pro Football Focus, and he had a really good year for the Titans. He's been playing well for the Titans under I forget their coach's name at the moment. But dude, at the end of the day, when I was watching the film on him, dog, I got really excited watching this guy, because I was just like, it's been so long since the Dolphins have had a reliable, really good instinctual linebacker in that position. And with all the talent we have on D-line and in the secondary, I mean, come on.
Rod, let me ask you a question, bro. So you said it, dog. You undersold what you got this dude from. That's not a steal. You guys committed larceny. You guys committed fraud. You guys committed money laundering, bro. You got the number 2, according to Next Gen Stats, linebacker in regards to run stop rate. Number 2 in the entire league of all qualifying linebackers, bro. And think about this. We got the Bobby Wagners, the Fred Warners, all these guys, right? This dude was number 2. You got him for 2 years at $11 million, bro? Huh? Did y'all just secretly do a behind the deal where you just say, you know what? You take this $11 million, bro, and we'll give you the rest, everything that we're supposed to pay you in a big-ass thing of cocaine, bro, and you could just flip it, dog. Like, there's no way, bro. Like, special teams players make $11 million, bro. Not top 10 or top 15 linebackers, dog. Like, who is his agent? Because that dude needs to be fired, bro. Like, $11 million? That's not even for 1 year. He's only making 6.5. He's making
$6.5 million.
Like, what? What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know how we pulled it.
Not even 6, $5.5 million, bro. What?
Yeah.
Making 5.5? Huh? That is insane to me, dog. So yeah, bro, like that's insane. That is insane, Rod. Like, how did y'all do this? How did y'all finesse this, bro? Like,
listen, man, I've been saying Chris Greer, man, he deserves more. A lot of people like to give him shit, and he deserves his fair, but he's one of the better GMs of football, Herbie. I don't know anybody who doesn't see that. I don't know what to tell you, but and he's been able to finesse some pretty good deals for us, man. And that was one when I saw what we paid for him, I was like, wait, we're getting a really good linebacker at this price? Like, what? Yes. I'm on board, nigga. Like, I'm on board. Like, listen, I'm all aboard the Dolphin train, boy.
I can see it. I can see it, man. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go ahead and transition over to Aaron Rodgers, right? Because that's the other big news in regards to that, and he deserves it because he's one of the greatest of all time. So he does deserve that conversation. Going into this season, is there anything else that you want to see your team do before it gets before training camp and everything gets started?
Oh, absolutely, man. If there's two things that we have a need right now, most definitely we need to find some kind of other guys on the offensive line. You know, I'm not asking for you to find a top 10 stud. You know, I'm not asking for the Eagles offensive line here, but you know, I just don't. Even though the team, the organization wants to move forward with Liam Eichenberg and they want to move forward with Austin Jackson, we got to find some other guys. And then at tight end too. We signed Eric Saubert from Denver. We'll see how much. I haven't gotten a chance to watch any really film on him, so I don't really know what to expect from him. But I imagine he can block. You know, that's a big part of the reason why we let go of Mike Gesicki, who, you know, I really liked him, dog, but he just didn't fit with us because when he was in the game, it was an immediate tell as to what kind of play we were running because he doesn't block. So you can only put him on passing plays. And that, to me, when a team can see a certain player and they know, oh yeah, like that's a disadvantage. So, you know, he's on the Patriots now. We'll see what happens with him on the Patriots. I always hate when Dolphin players go to the Patriots because they end up killing us. Like Wes Welker is one guy that comes to mind, dog. He used to slaughter us, dog. So, you know, just the fact that we're gonna see Gesicki twice a year might bite us in the ass a little bit. But I mean, you know, as long as I see the Dolphins, and we did sign an offensive lineman, I just want to see the Dolphins, you know, get some more depth, like make these guys compete so we can put the best man to play. And one thing I like about McDaniel, if you ain't doing your job, he's gonna ship your ass out.
That is very true, bro.
Like I respect that.
He doesn't look like it, bro, but he cold, bro.
Yeah,
he cold.
He cutthroat, dog.
He cutthroat as fuck, bro. And I know we said we're gonna go ahead and move on to it, but out of respect to David Long, because I think he deserves it because he is so underrated. I do just want to go ahead and get a couple clips of him actually, bro. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let me go ahead and get it up right now. David Long and share audio on the tab. All right. All right, let me know when you see Rock.
Yeah, I see it, man.
All right, man. So this is David Long, bro. He's coming from the Tennessee Titans, man.
We're back, people.
And
breakdown film on
when you were watching this, what were you seeing that you're like, okay, this is what we're getting? Like, we're getting this kind of player. Like, what immediately just jumped off the screen for you, right? And of course,
the thing with him
420 whipping our ass, bro. God damn. That 420p is kicking our ass.
Only 2 years, $11 million, which was
let me try to put that bitch at 360. There we go, dog.
Not expect it to be that.
But go on, not to cut you off, bro.
No. I mean, the one thing I noticed about him was the first thing I noticed was the instincts. Just the way that he can shoot the gap, instantly knows exactly how to attack whatever gap he needs to in order to take down anybody who's running the football.
David Long is one of those guys. He takes on blocks.
She can shed blocks.
He's very violent at the point of attack. He can also make.
And he got into that lineman's chest and his shoulder pads immediately, bro. Like, look at the technique, dog. Look at that.
To his gap, and he just makes plays all over the field.
Yeah, he engaged. He put his shoulder in his chest. He made himself small, and he didn't give the offensive lineman anything to grab, bro. And he stood him up. That is not a $11 million linebacker, bro. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
We literally got him on the discount.
Like, for real, bro. Like, this doesn't even make sense, man. So let's look at another play with this dude, bro.
Into this hole. He just
like, look at him shooting the gap, dog. Look at him getting skinny, bro. Like, look at him getting under, dog. Look at him turn his shoulder, bro. So you don't have that much space to grab, dog. Like, that is a good fucking player, dog.
His run gap.
Look at that.
And help make this tackle for loss. Impressive
Look at
play
that.
from a processing standpoint and
that is a good player, dog. That's not an $11 million player. That doesn't even make sense. Like, just the fact that he's a starting linebacker means he shouldn't be paying for $11 million. Like,
for the next 2 years.
I don't
2 years.
It's a great job working off these.
It's not like he got 22 mil.
Bro, look at that. This is all in the same game, by the way. This is one game.
Go into the
this is the same game.
This guy tries to climb to him.
This is the same game. Look at him, bro.
He just shoots in behind.
Look at
his
that.
Defensive lineman. Still filling his gap.
Look how he could drop his hips,
slow this down,
break down,
plays very fast,
and then make
but
the
then comes
tackle
under
in the
control
backfield.
very
Like,
quickly.
this is some high level football we're watching, bro. Like, I could see if it was like 1 or 2 plays a game. No, this is all from the same game, dog. So yeah, bro. And I just wanted to go ahead and give him his love or whatever before we go ahead and transition to the next topic, dog. So
ironically, they were playing the Packers.
The Packers, right? Yeah, bro. So listen, dog. Like that is some good. That's some good shit, bro. So, all right, man. So, let's go ahead and transition over to the good old Aaron Rodgers, bro. And you niggas might be mad at me, bro. I'm calling it the Aaron Rodgers promo tour, bro. And that's what it is right now. I'm calling it the Aaron Rodgers promo tour, bro. And I get it. A lot of Aaron Rodgers' fans, and he had this dude has been in the league. He's been a starter since 2007, bro. He's obviously one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who you ask, he is the greatest, right? Depending on who you ask, he was the most talented before Patrick Mahomes. Like, I want to give him his flowers because you know me, like especially on the last episode, we got in his ass, and a lot of it is like it's deserved. Like, this dude can be a jackass and he could be hard to deal with, but at the same time, most people who are all-time great at something are jackasses and hard to deal with. It comes with the territory, bro. You have to have an ego of that nature. Otherwise, you wouldn't even get to the top.
Absolutely.
So I'm surprised that he's doing what he's doing, because to people who love him, he can't do no wrong. And I have a friend, this is my good friend Josh, this is for you, bro. Like, I'm not saying that you think that he's like the perfect person, but sometimes you be acting like that. No disrespect. And he took exception to how we were going at Aaron Rodgers last week. And I don't want this to get lost, right? Yes, the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers' replacement. Yes, Aaron Rodgers has every right to be pissed off. But I do think there is a lot of details that are not getting reported for the Packers to do that, right? Now, what are the two? There's only two things that could have happened for this relationship to turn into this, right? Either the Packers, because they've had 2 generations of back-to-back Hall of Fame top 10 quarterback play, that they are delusional to the reality of how hard it is to find a good quarterback, and they don't understand that you can't do that, and they should have worked harder to make it work with Aaron Rodgers, right? That's one. And that's very plausible, because if you've been doing something for almost 30 years, there's no way for you to think that. And those people have egos too. They think it's a system too, right? Or Aaron Rodgers may have done things behind the scenes to make it seem like he was ready to quit football or not play football anymore. And they had to protect themselves. That's it. And based off of the last episode we did, some people who are Packers fans, they might have took it that we were not going at the Packers organization as hard as we should have. Perfectly fair. That's absolutely fair, right? I'm not here to deny that or argue that. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is clearly somebody who behind the scenes is saying things different that he possibly is saying now, right? It's easy to say, oh, I always wanted to be a Packer. I love Packer Nation. And I know he does, bro. That place is not the best place to live unless you truly love it, because what the fuck is in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
You have to love the team to live in Milwaukee, man. like that's never a play. Like, listen, when you're thinking about traveling in the States, Milwaukee never comes to mind unless we're going to a Packer game.
Never. I have never, and no disrespect to Milwaukee,
Bucks
bro.
Game. That's it.
I've never said, man, I can't wait. But even like, I've never said, yo, I'm really trying to go to Green Bay. Like Milwaukee is like the Bucks is different, because like it's kind of close to Chicago. It's like one of those places where it's not that far from Chicago, so you don't even have to go to Milwaukee to go to a Bucks game. You can visit Chicago, drive up an hour, and you're at the Bucks. Green Bay is different, bro. Green Bay is Green Bay. Green Bay is Green Bay, Wisconsin, bro. Like, that's different. You gotta love it. Yeah. And I do want. I don't know how to really approach this, dog, because I don't know if there were some things that Aaron Rodgers did behind the scenes to force the Packers' hands. And I don't know if the Packers are just a really stupid front office that thinks they could do it for the third time when it's hard enough to do it once. Most teams don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback, bro. They have 2 back-to-back.
Which is unheard of.
It is
unheard of.
So I don't know how to really approach this conversation. All I can do is go off of what Aaron Rodgers is saying outward and some of the things that are reported behind the scenes, right? And ultimately, bro, it happens, dog. We seen Joe Montana leave the 49ers, man. Like, this happens, bro. Like, we seen Peyton Manning get kicked out, get shoved the boot from the Colts. He built the Colts, bro. I get it. I know they had Johnny Unitas, bro. Now fuck that. Peyton Manning built the Colts, and they gave him the boot.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady is the greatest to ever do it. Bill Belichick wanted to get rid of him in 2014, but he just kept winning, bro. So he couldn't get rid of him.
He couldn't. He had no choice. He had to keep putting up with Tom.
He wanted Jimmy G. He wanted fucking Jimmy G over Tom Brady. Sometimes there's just sometimes, bro, like, people grow apart. Like, I think we as fans, we just want to strictly see this as a transactional thing. where it's how could they want to get rid of Aaron Rodgers? How could a team want to get rid of Tom Brady? How could a team want to get rid of Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, all of these guys, right? But they're like relationships, bro. People grow apart. These are actual relationships. These are not transactions. Like, these are actual people that have actual interactions every single day. And what happened is something that's happened. Always happens. It happened, 14 years ago with the same team in the same situation, bro. So I don't know why people are just all over the place, right? Like, I get it. We have attachments to these people. We grew up loving these people. We don't want to see them grow. We don't want them to see to leave the teams that we die for. But we have to acknowledge that this is a part of the business of the NFL. You are not supposed to let good quarterbacks go unless you just don't want to be around that person anymore, bro. As crazy as it sounds, I get like, that's really what it is, bro. Like, they just did not want to be around Aaron Rodgers anymore, bro. You could blame them. You could say Brian Kunikis is an idiot. You could say Mark, whatever his name is, a fucking idiot. That is absolutely true. But people just don't want to be around people at a certain point, dog. And no matter the minute they saw that Aaron Rodgers was not automatically good enough to just be on the field and make them a championship contender, they use this as an opportunity to get rid of somebody that they don't want to be around anymore, bro. That's just it. It doesn't have to be bigger than that. So now I want to progress the conversation forward, which is, if they don't want to be around him anymore, why don't they want to go ahead and just get this trade done, bro? I don't get it, bro. So what are your opinions on that, Rod?
Well, when I look at it, like all relationships, the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers is complicated, right? Like, when you look at the trajectory of his career, when you look at how he won a Super Bowl early and all the expectations that were now on his shoulders because he had that incredible MVP season where they went 15-1. I believe his ratio was 45-6. So you look at the humble beginnings of the relationship, and then over time, I want to stick to, we're going to sound a little bit like Colin Cowherd here, bringing up relationships, but I think that's a really good thing to compare this to, because in the beginning of any relationship, you always see the good and overlook the red flags, right? But over time, the more and more the significant other does certain things, it just becomes harder to ignore. Now, Aaron Rodgers is in a special case to where even though he had gotten to a point to where his red flags were blaring, at the end of the day, he was still a fucking dime piece, nigga. He 2 years removed from MVP. He won back-to-back MVPs. So, when they drafted Jordan Love, that was kind of like the first sign of them saying, like, we're 1 foot out the door. But then Aaron Rodgers was just like, oh, you trying to get out on me? And, he showed his ass. So now where we're at, it's complicated because sometimes when you're in a relationship for so long and you're ready to leave, it's still hard to leave. Aaron Rodgers said it himself that, he's ready to play in New York, right? But at the end of the day, what's stopping you now, right? Like, everything seems to be ready for you. Everything is put in place. The Packers are ready to move on. But, sometimes, Herbie, sometimes people relapse. Sometimes people just have a hard time letting go of where they used to be. Now, hell, for all we know, he could be getting his affairs in order. From a lot of reports, they're talking about, Aaron Rodgers has a list of demands. You're seeing that the Jets signed Alan Lazard, right? Like Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, he's the annoying type of motherfucker who's going to give you a wish list before he comes over. But, barring that, I mean, I really don't know what's taking it so long. And I know, and I love this part of it, Herbie. This is the Dolphin in me. I love this part of it, dog. I know Jets fans are sweating right now, Herbie. Jets fans, they definitely sweating, man.
So, okay, so in fairness to Aaron Rodgers, right, and I'm going to go ahead and get the quote up, and I'm about to put it on the screen right now, bro. So in fairness to him, he says, that everything is there and everything is set up for them, right? And I have the article right here, right? So Aaron Rodgers interview with YouTube host Pat McAfee draws almost 500,000 live viewers. QB signals intention to leave Green Bay for the Packers. I mean, intention to leave Green Bay for New York Jets, right? And hold on. And I had the quote. So here's the quote right here, and I'm going to highlight it. His intention since Friday, which was last Friday, was to play for the Jets. And this is what he says. The only thing holding up a trade between teams is compensation. What's the compensation? And for me, I think the compensation, actually I'll take that back, because I was going to say it possibly is that $60 million contract, but the Jets knew that going into it, right? So you can't be scared of something that you know about. And you know what? I'm so bad, bro. I didn't even realize I had the thing up the whole time, bro. My bad, bro.
What thing up?
The little bearer for us, bro. Like, I never took it off when I was doing the screen share. Hey, we gotta have an editor. Doesn't it look better now, bro? Like,
no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Oh God, I never even realized that, bro. Like, oh my God, dog. All right, work in progress, man. So, there's another quote where he's basically saying it. And this is why I say it's the promo tour, right? Because he is the person that is using media. Remember, like, all these people say they hate media. Oh no, they hate media when the media is not convenient to them, right? You can't hate media and be, but also be on Pat McAfee's show every week, like every week, literally every week. And this is how Aaron Rodgers controls his narrative, which is fine. Absolutely, you earned that, bro. Even if you weren't a professional athlete, you should be able to control your narrative, right? I'm not here to argue that. What I am here to argue is that he is using this as an opportunity to only put himself in a positive light. You think Brian Curtis is going to get on here and say anything? No, he's not in position to. You think freaking the owner of the Packers is going to get on here and say nothing? No, he's not going to give any comments, bro, because it doesn't serve them. Nobody's going to believe them anyway, so it doesn't matter. However, Aaron Rodgers can say, look, guys, it's me. I wanted to be a Packer. I never wanted to leave, but because it got so bad, I guess I just said, F it, I'll go to the Jets. They try to push me out. They're the ones who drafted a quarterback in the first round instead of getting me a receiver. Look at everything they did. I just won 2 back-to-back MVPs. Of course I want to be here. Of course I love Green Bay. No, I do think there was a part of Aaron Rodgers that wanted to leave too. And that's why they decided to do things to protect themselves. But he has the advantage. He has the narrative. He has the platform. And he's going to win that road. He's going to win that war no matter what. No matter what. Because we are conditioned to not believe management. And we shouldn't, bro. We know we hate our job. We hate our bosses at our job, bro. So just like Aaron Rodgers hates his bosses too. We just don't have the ability to control the narrative, and he's using it. Right. But ultimately, bro, it doesn't matter, dog, because we're just hypothesizing. We're just speculating at this point, dog. I'm just ready for this shit to be done with, bro, because everybody knows where you're going, bro. Like, the Jets are betting against themselves. I don't know who they think is gonna come. I don't know who the Packers think is gonna come to give them a fucking Godfather deal, bro. Like, the deal is done, bro. So I'm just ready for this shit to be over, man. So let's go ahead and transition and get on to the next news, man. And this is about me, man. Oh God, bro. Rodney.
How you feeling, Herbie, man? How you feeling, dog?
How I'm feeling, man. Oh God, dog. Like, it's a sad day, Rod. It's a sad day, man. Sad day in Cowboy land. The Cowboys release Zeke, man. Ezekiel Elliott, man. Ohio State running back. And it's bittersweet, man. It's really bittersweet, bro. The irony is, and a lot of people don't remember this, right? Unless you are a absolute draft junkie like myself and you or whatever. Zeke and Jalen Ramsey came out in the same draft. Zeke went 4th, Jalen Ramsey went 5th. Jalen Ramsey actually was convinced he was going to the Cowboys. I, as a Cowboys fan, and this is not hindsight, you know what I'm saying? There's 2 things that I will swear by that nobody's going to argue with me, right? I wanted the Cowboys to draft T.J. Watt instead of Taco Charlton. Look what happened, bro. The history rests his
Man, what were they thinking with that?
Till this day, bro. Till this day. You were there at the L house with me, bro. When I said, like, TJ Watt was on the board. We had the 17th pick. I thought TJ Watt was coming, bro. They read Taco Charlton, bro. I wanted to break something, bro. You seen it. The other draft, I want to say that was 2 years or 3 years before, because I think it was the 2015 draft when they came out. I wanted Jalen Ramsey because I am somebody who's a proponent, and Mel Kiper said this first, and I thought it was kind of crazy, but I have since to adopt this, where it's not worth it to draft a running back in the first round, especially not in the top 10. Especially not in the top 10. If you're going to do it, you get somebody in the 20s, hey, whatever. But I was cool with us drafting Zeke because Zeke was the prototype, bro. 5'10", 225, and he was built like a running back. He was born to play the position. Adrian Peterson said it himself. Adrian Peterson said, and Adrian Peterson, in my opinion, is the greatest pure running back that's ever lived on this planet Earth, other than Barry Sanders. He said the minute he saw Zeke, he was like, oh my God, bro. He like, because everything was there. Like, all his body weight, everything was designed. Like, he was out of a lab, out of Madden, bro.
I remember when he was destroying teams at Ohio State, bro. Like, I remember he was destroying teams, dog.
He was that dude, bro. He was that dude. Like, he was that dude. So I definitely wasn't mad that we drafted him. I just preferred to get Jalen Ramsey because it's harder to find a running back. Way harder to find, a cornerback versus finding a good running back.
Absolutely.
Our good running back that replaced Zeke was a third-round pick, Tony Pollard, bro. So what do we need a first-round pick for? But whatever. Then Zeke made me eat shit. He went on to get 3 straight All-Pros. He was by far the best running back in the league. It was either him or Todd Gurley. You take your pick. I was prone and I was biased to Zeke. He was dominant. He was obviously our best player behind a really good offensive line. Then he got his money. And no fault to his own, because there's some people like Dwayne Bowe or what's the dude who got drafted who was with the Steelers but went to the Jets? What's his name? Now he's a boxer. What's his freaking name, Rod?
He was drafted by the Steelers and
the running back for the Steelers and he went to the Jets, bro. The running back, bro.
You talking about Le'Veon?
Le'Veon Bell. There's certain people, once they get paid, the passion isn't there. That's not what happened to Zeke. Life happened to Zeke, right? And it breaks my heart watching Zeke now because his mind is still there. His body just isn't. He doesn't have the same burst. He doesn't have the same quickness. And it's a real pain in the ass when you're the last one to know that you're not as good as you are, right? And this is where I feel bad because from what I understand, he was willing to restructure his deal because he loved being a Cowboy. Because why wouldn't you, bro? You didn't come with us, but when I went to Dallas to go to the Eagles game, like I went to Dallas, I went to go see my team. It is like I can't describe it to you, Rod, what it's like to go into a Dallas game, bro. Like it's like a sea of people, bro. It's like Judas and the Messiah, bro. And you part the Red Sea, bro, but instead of red, bro, it's nothing but blue and silver jerseys. Like it's literally the entire population of Fort Worth comes out to go to a Dallas game. Like if you are a good Dallas Cowboys, bro, and you live in that, like you are a god. So I understand why he wanted to stay. He's a legend forever, but it just didn't make any sense. When we gave him the deal, it didn't make sense. I didn't want him to get that extension. Hell no. For what?
What?
The minute he got paid, he was trash, bro. And then he just got progressively worse, dog. So it was always going to happen this way, dog. But once it happens, that finality hits you, dog. And it's kind of crazy, bro. So let me just go ahead and read a couple of articles, and then I'll go ahead and let you get in, bro. So, and he's only 27, dog. That doesn't even make sense, bro.
That's the part that blows me the most, dog. Like, this nigga didn't even hit 30 yet, bro.
He didn't even hit 30. Normally, once you get 30, that's when you're done. He didn't even hit 30. He's only 27.
The wall came for him early.
And he's been bad for 2 years. So that means the wall hit him at 25. That's like amazing. This has been a terrible contract. And when you look at his age, like I thought Todd Gurley had the shortest prime I've ever seen, right? But Zeke might have him, dog, because he's only 27. Nah, Todd Gurley not even in the league, bro. It's still Todd Gurley, but still, bro, like this is crazy, dog. So yeah, Zeke 27 was set to count 16.7 million against the cap. Ugh. With a 10 million non-guaranteed base salary, bro, which we're still on the books. That's dead money, bro. Elliott would be designated a post-June 1st cut, which means the club will save nearly $11 million against the cap, but will count more than $6 million against the 2024 cap, bro. That means that, like, at that point, just keep him on the team, bro. Like, this is just. This was such a bad contract, bro. And this is the worst part about it, dog. Y'all cut the man. Don't do this, bro. Like, don't do this, bro. Like, don't do this, bro.
I mean, that's one of those things where it's just like, somebody didn't read the room properly. Like,
don't do this.
Somebody didn't read the room, man.
Hey, don't do this. Thank you, Zeke. Don't do that, bro. That man is miserable right now, bro.
Oh, he hurt. Oh, that boy hurting, dog.
Don't even, right? If you gonna do it, don't at me though. Like, don't fucking at me, bro. Like, I don't want to see. I don't want to get no fucking for that shit, bro. But yeah, man. We're gonna open up $8 million in cap space, dog. But this is just nuts, bro. Signed a 6-year extension worth $90 million, bro, with $50 million in guaranteed money, bro. I'm happy for him. He ultimately got his money, and that's all that matters, dog. But he's been like. The 1 year into that, he was bad. One year into that extension, he was bad, bro. This has been an albatross, bro. Like, he's been bad for 3 years. And no fault of his own. It's not like he gave up on football. It's not like he wasn't trying, bro.
There's more to buying your next pre-owned vehicle when you shop at Vista Volkswagen. When you shop with us, you're getting an experience unlike any other. Explore our huge variety of models with pricing for every budget and lifestyle, including used vehicles starting under $20,000. Find the perfect ride you've been looking for today. With the pre-owned shopping experience, you won't find.
Is it stopped now?
Oh, it stopped.
Yeah, it's ESPN, bro. It's ESPN, bro. So let's hop back into it, man. So I know you could give your piece. I want you to give your piece about Zeke real shortly, but I just want you to get your opinion and some dialogue about people that you know on your team, like once it goes, and who you could think about, like certain players that, like, damn, bro, once it went, bro.
I guess the first player that comes to mind for me immediately might have been maybe Cameron Wake. Like, he was one of, throughout my years watching the Dolphins as they were mired in mediocrity, Cameron Wake for quite some time was like a really, really good lone bright spot. There were a couple of the bright spots too, but when I think about a guy who was really good for us, and then by the end of his time, he just wasn't effective anymore. I know that feeling, Herbie, because it sucks because especially Cameron Wake, as good as he was, he's not a Hall of Famer or anything, but he was a really good player. And Zeke, for what it's worth, was the best running back in football his first 2 years, arguably his third year as well. And when you see a guy who had such high highs that helped you, that allowed you to have high expectations for your team because he was him for a time period, and then you see it go, and eventually, like, I mean, dude, I think for his last 100 carries, he had 50 yards. Like, it sucks, man, because you know what a guy used to be, and when he ain't got it no more, he ain't got it no more. Especially running backs, dog. Like, running backs, whenever they hit the wall, they hit the wall. But when they hit that wall, there's no going back. And it was sad. It was kind of sad to see Zeke last season because despite the fact that I'm a Dolphin fan, I'm also not a Cowboy hater. For some odd reason, a lot of non-NFC East fans hate the Cowboys, and I've always been confused about that.
No, it's not.
Like, it doesn't matter.
It's not. Listen, when anything that's popular is gonna get hated on, but it bothers me, because like people act like Cowboys fans are obnoxious. They beat the obnoxiousness out of us, dog. We have nothing to be obnoxious about. Like, we're not even remotely close to Eagles fans. We're nowhere near as obnoxious as Patriot fans. Like, the Patriots have been more popular, and for whatever reason, people hate us more than the Patriots. And it's the fucking city of Boston, that piece of shit place, bro. If anybody needs to be hated, it's them. Like, you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, The fuck? But you know what? I'm sorry, bro. You rile me up, right? You rile me up. But go on, bro.
No, man. Ultimately, man, it's sad, dog, because you remember a time like when you think of Zeke, you will always remember the times where you really felt good about the Cowboys and you thought you had a chance. Whereas now, the bright side, I guess I should say, to all this is that now Tony Pollard doesn't have to be held back. Now he's going to get more touches. I don't know who else you guys have on your roster, a running back, or if you're going to draft a guy. I don't know what your team's plans are for that. But you at least now he knows he's got the commitment. Like, he knows he has the C on his chest. Like, he is the guy. And I think that'll be good for him. But for Zeke, it's crazy that the man is 27. He's going to have to retire. Somebody might end up picking him up. Somebody might still think he has something in the tank.
I think because he still offers a lot, right? He's still good at the backfield as far as catching, and he's still a really good blocker. So he's going to have a career. The problem is that it's harder to go from a Hall of Famer to a regular player than it is for someone who could have been a Hall of Famer to go into a regular player, right? Like, at the end of the day, your career is set. Like, if you're Junior Seau, Ray Lewis, right? Like, you're not as good as you used to be, but you did so much that you're at peace once it's all said and done. You can look back and say, you know what? I'm going to be a Hall of Famer. Ty Gurley, Zeke, you're 27 and you're cooked. You're 27 and you're cooked. Like, it's going to be so hard to not see yourself or understand that nobody else sees yourself, because they can still see themselves like that, and they should, because they have to. But you also got to be like, you know what? They don't see me like that, so I'm just going to play this role and do the best I can to prove myself elsewhere. And maybe you might have a resurgence, maybe you don't. We don't see resurgence with running backs, right? Because the job is too physical. If it's a wide receiver, I could hide you. I could turn you into a Larry Fitzgerald, take you from the outside, put you in the inside, make you the best slot receiver in the world, right? I could, if you're a lineman, I could take you from the left side of to the line to the right side, where it's a lot easier to be a right tackle than it is to be a left tackle, right? Or put you inside when it's a guard, right? Unless you got to play Aaron Donald and you're just getting your ass whooped, but that's once a week if you're not in this division, right? But as a running back, I can't hide you, bruh, because the skill set requires you to be awesome. Like, there's nothing I could do with you, dog.
Absolutely.
So there's no resurgence for this, bro. Like, the only thing that he can do is be a
quality depth piece,
quality blocker, bro. Like,
quality
depth, and that's sad. Again, he's 27, and remind you, he was cooked before he was 27. He was cooked at 25. He just happens to be 27 when it was final, where he was cheap enough to where we could get rid of him. We've wanted to get rid of him for the past 2 years. And I'm not saying we, like, I was in the room like, yeah, get this fucking schmuck out of here. No, I'm just saying as a Cowboys fan, right? So yeah, he's been cooked since he's 25. That's insane to me, bro. But any last words before we go to close out the show, Rod?
I mean, listen, Herb, ultimately, I know, it kind of sucks to see him go, but it's not like he was adding anything in the past couple of years, right? Like, I'm sure you guys are finally happy that, you stopped the bleeding from the standpoint of, him taking up touches on the field.
Yeah, and again, it's bittersweet. Like, the older I get, the more I've seen it. I've seen T.O. leave. I've seen Tony leave. I've seen Jason Witten get old. Like, Jason Witten got to be old. Like, that nigga got to be old. You know what I'm saying? But
he got to be old. Yeah,
he got to be old. But there was still something that he could do on the field that required him to be on the field. Who was better than catching a 10-yard butt route than him, bro? Nobody, bro. Not Travis Kelce, not Gronk, nobody. Shannon Sharp, pick it. If you needed,
he was always open on those routes too, though.
If you needed a 10-yard butt route, cool. That's how he prolonged his career, and the owner loved him. Jerry loves all his players. You know what I'm saying? Jerry loves all of these guys, and Jerry's going to take care of Zeke once it's said and all is done, right? But ultimately, it's to me, this is not a conversation about Zeke. He's just a conduit for it. This is just about running backs in general, why A, it's been devalued, B, why you shouldn't, in my opinion, why I was justified to say that I didn't want us to draft him in the first place, because I didn't think the value would come back, and C, that the NFL has changed, man. And you saw the Giants didn't really want to pay Saquon, but they had to. And Saquon, of course, like everybody else, has the best year of his career conveniently when he needs to get paid, bro. Ooh, I didn't see that one fucking
contract year life.
You know what I'm saying? And I love that they paid him, bro. They're gonna regret that in a year too, bro. Like, come on, dog. Derrick Henry, ironically, is the one to break the mold when Derrick Henry was on his verge to being shipped out of Tennessee, and then he became a Hall of Famer, bro. It's crazy. But he's proven to be now in this new generation of football the exception to the rule, not the rule itself, man. And we'll just go ahead and leave on that note, man. So appreciate you again, Rob, bro. The show, another great episode, dog. So thank you for doing this with me, man.
Of course.
And people, y'all want to give us topics? Oh God, bro, I got to get better at this, dog. I'm so bad at this. I'm supposed to say, bro, like, comment, and subscribe to the show. Like, I'm not used to doing this. I'm still getting better at this YouTube thing, bro. But if you guys make it to this portion, please like, comment, subscribe. Leave the comments what kind of topics y'all want us to talk about, bro. If you're a Dolphins fan, give us some stuff, man. We are here for the people. This is the Everyday People's Football Show, man. And we'll leave on that note, man. Deuces.